For the last several months, I've been using the CMF watch as my smartwatch and my health tracker. And while I do think it does a pretty good job, in particular for the price, there are some things that it doesn't do super well, like step tracking, sleep tracking. These things just don't work particularly well on this thing. And I saw a new tracker kind of making the rounds, and I thought it might be worth giving it a shot. So today, we're going to be unboxing the brand new Google Fitbit Air. This thing is very basic. It is not a smart watch. In fact, I told my wife maybe the best way to think about it is to think about like a smart ring that goes on your wrist. It doesn't have a screen. It doesn't vibrate to tell you when your notifications have arrived. Nothing like that. It is just there to track your health. And hopefully it's going to do that a whole lot more accurately than my CMF watch was. And of course, I did get it in this sort of blue color, which I think they actually called lavender, but that definitely does look like blue to me. And it is some kind of a Velcro, but it's not the kind of Velcro that's like kind of scratchy feeling. Let's see what's going on here. There's like a little Velcro pads. So that's interesting. I was wondering how I would feel about Velcro, but that seems to be a pretty good little implementation. So inside is where the actual tracker is. I think we can kind of slide that mostly out of the way, and we will get rid of this paper. Or not. So there's your little Google logo and the tracker itself right there. It just kind of lives inside this little thing. And there is also, of course, going to be a charger, which should just magnetically grab on. And my understanding is that it's supposed to last about a week on a charge, which should be pretty good. See how this thing does attach. There you go. Plug that into your charging brick and you should be good to go, which luckily there is a brick right here. So we'll just go ahead and snap that thing on there. And here's one interesting thing. I was going to say I don't know how you know if it's on, but there you go. It's definitely on. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the setup on my Razor Fold. I'll show you the setup process here. So we're obviously going to do start setup, and this is working through the Fitbit app, which is now the Google Health app. While this setup process is going through, one thing I'm going to do that might be a reminder to you, I've given the Nothing X app Health Connect access, which means it was adding the data it was collecting into my Google Health app. I'm going to be switching over to this thing. I don't need to have this on here giving inaccurate sleep and step data, so we're going to go ahead and shut that off. So even though there's no screen on this thing, it does need to be able to tell you the battery state, and so what they have for that is a little LED on the side, and what you can do is firmly double tap the side of the device, and that light will light up to show you. White means there's over 20%, blinking red means under 20%, and solid red means it is dead. Now, of course, you may need to swap this device into a different band, and you can do that by simply popping the device itself out of the band. And that's really about all there is to it. You're just back at the Google Health screen. Now, I'm going to be wearing this thing on my right wrist because I do intend on keeping a smartwatch on the left wrist. I actually have the Pebble Time 2 coming in the mail very, very soon. And that's kind of my intention, is to go Pebble left wrist, Fitbit Air health tracking on the right wrist. I should say that if you want to see the actual battery percentage, it's in the Google Health app right up here in this top left corner. So let's go ahead and put this thing on. So all you do is put the thing on like this and pull it until it's comfortably tight, and then just use the Velcro kind of down like that, and it's on. And it is very, very lightweight, right? So this thing is called the Fitbit Air for a reason. You can really hardly tell that it's actually on. I guess really what I should do quickly is see exactly how light it is compared to what I've been wearing. So here is my CMF watch. I think this is the 3 Pro with my band on it. That's 44 grams, and the Fitbit Air is 9 grams. I mean, that is crazy. Okay, jumped up to 11. Let's move it around a little bit. Try that again. 11 grams. So it's a quarter the weight of what is already a pretty lightweight smartwatch. So I've been wearing this thing for about a day, and I definitely already have some thoughts on it. So this is the Google Health app. Up top you have these like metrics all kind of organized in these little tiles. If you click on one or tap on one, it's going to take you into that section. You can edit these, remove some, add some, whatever it is that you need to do. But below that, it's pretty interesting because what you basically have is this historical feed where different things occur, and you're going to get this AI coach helping you. Now, this AI coach is tied to a premium subscription. You might already have this if you have one of the Google One packages. Certain ones will give you this for free. Otherwise, I think it's like $10 a month or something like that. If you don't want this, You just basically don't have to have it. You won't get these little AI summarizations. You will get where, you slept. It's going to pop up in there. Your workouts are going to pop up in there. You're just not going to get this AI coach. And I actually kind of like the AI coach. I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, but I kind of think it's useful. And let me explain how and why. So first off, when I woke up this morning, it gave me this little summarization where it told me that I ate like crap yesterday, but my readiness score was good. Talked about how I slept, talked about where my resting heart rate was, which that's still a little bit high for me. But it gave me this little summarization, like here's how you did, here's how today is looking, and I think that it's pretty accurate. After a workout, it's going to do the same. We're going to talk about the workout tracking here in just a minute because I've definitely got some important things to show you on that one. But you can see it kind of gives you like a little summary that's like, hey, you were redlining for 7 out of those 10 minutes. That's a heavy cardio load. Make sure you're drinking enough water. You might not need that, but I think it's probably kind of cool. But the thing that I really like about it is this Ask Coach section, or I guess specifically it's the log section, because you'll have these AI options, log with coach. So what do you do with this? Well, okay, what you can do is you can be eating a meal. Let's say you're out at a restaurant and you're eating a meal and you don't know how many calories this is. It's not on the menu, it doesn't say. You can take a picture, or you can just describe it, or take a picture and describe it and tell it, and it's going to figure out the calories and log that for you, and it should fill out your macros and everything. It might not be perfectly accurate, but it's a lot easier than you trying to figure it out and typing all that stuff in. It's gonna just kind of take care of it for you. My lunch today was the same thing as it was yesterday with one change. So today I went into the chat and I said, hey, I ate for lunch today the same thing from yesterday, but swap out this for this, and it said cool, and it logged it all for me without me having to do much of anything at all. Again, you don't need this. I could just log it manually, but it's pretty cool. And of course, you can ask it questions, create a workout, etc., etc. It's Google Gemini just built into Google Health, and I actually think it makes sense. So let me show you something else that will kind of like put you in my mindset, I guess. So I actually built my own hydration tracking application called Daily Drop, where you can just put in different buttons. It will be like what it is that you're drinking. You can put the calories in there as well. And then all you do is you just tap that button and it fills it up. And this actually does sync with Health Connect, which means if I say I had a soda today, Health Connect will then be sent that information, and it will have the ounces and the calories if you entered it. I also added a calories page to this so that you could do the same thing. Like foods I eat all the time, I have the diet of a 12-year-old, a picky 12-year-old at that. So I eat the same things a lot. I can quickly track my calories. And again, it will sync with Health Connect. While I was using my own app, what I found myself doing a lot if we went out and ate someplace was just asking Gemini, hey, I just went to Texas Roadhouse. I had a burger with this on it. I ate half the fries, etc., etc. And it would give me a caloric number. I would do the one-time add thing, put in a name, put in the calories, and off I would go. Google Health is basically building that in where you can just ask it, but the difference is it's going to fill out your macros too, not just your calories. I had literally brainstormed and thought about, like, could I integrate Gemini into this? Like, have a little Gemini shortcut that would encourage people to just ask Gemini to put together the calories for them. They just built it. They did the thing I was thinking about doing for myself, to make my own life easier. They just did it inside Google Health. Let's talk about the workout tracking. So I have my CMF watch on, and I did some VR boxing. I think I mentioned that earlier. And the results are interesting because what you see here with the CMF watch on the left is it was repeatedly losing my heart rate. I even put the thing on like extra tight. Here's the reality. It has some weight on it, and all that weight is in that one spot. So when I'm throwing a jab, it's going to move around. And this has been a problem I have had with most smartwatches. There's too much weight there. It moves around when I'm boxing. It loses my heart rate. Guess what didn't happen with the Fitbit? Didn't lose my heart rate at all. And because of that, look at the average, 139. CMF had me at 109. Calories were similar, 66 versus 65, but that heart rate is way off. Later that day, we went for a walk around the neighborhood, about 1 1/3 of a mile. Well, that's according to CMF. Fitbit had it closer to 1.47, and that is more accurate. It's right at a mile and a half. 3,100 steps logged by the Fitbit equated to 3,000 steps for CMF. I lost 1,000 steps. And look at the calories, 120 versus 236. That is a big, big difference. It does have a map. I'm not going to show you because it would show you where I live, but you can see all the information that the Fitbit is tracking. You can see the heart rate over time. This is a spot that goes fairly steeply uphill, and you can see my heart rate did elevate. There's a decent amount of data here, and I think that it is much more accurate than my CMF watch, which shouldn't be all that surprising. A couple of other small observations. Of course, since this thing has no screen, if you want to start a workout, you have to get out your phone. It's really quite simple. Get out your phone, open up Google Health, click on Start, pick the workout. There's a little search up here at the top. So when I was doing the VR boxing, there's no boxing option, which is dumb, so you got to do kickboxing. I can't type kickboxing, click on it, and then you're just going to go ahead and start the workout, which I actually need to just immediately cancel because I'm not actually doing that. But what's cool is it will show you this little like ongoing thing. So you can like maybe have your phone set up someplace. Let me just delete this. It'll ask you at the end to rate how difficult that workout was. It flashed on screen there for a second before I canceled things. I should have stayed on that a bit longer, but it'll ask you like, hey, how hard was that? And that'll kind of help it understand what's going on as well. The settings for this thing are very, very sparse. There's not much you can do with it other than changing like what wrist it's on. You can change the vibration intensity, and that is only for certain alerts like your heart rate variation and things, you know, like a low heart rate or a high heart rate. It might vibrate for those sorts of things. But otherwise, I mean, man, the settings are extremely sparse. Everything's going to happen, like I keep saying, inside this app. And if you like this app, that's not a bad thing. Under fitness, you can create goals. You can also start recent workouts quickly from there. You can actually create workouts. And again, it's going to try to use AI to help you do that. You can see your workouts sort of over time. Of course, there is sleep tracking. And once again, it's absolutely going to trash what the CMF watch was doing. So as you can see, there were a couple of spots that I was fully awake. I actually was up out of bed at these times. As far as the CMF watch was concerned, I was sound asleep still in bed. So I don't even really need to go any further than that to show you the sleep tracking is going to be a lot better. And it's also going to, again, kind of give you a little bit of a synopsis there of your sleep tracking. And then last but not least, you have under this health option, a whole bunch of these different metrics that are in a larger view. And again, you can customize these as well to just kind of jump in and see exactly where you're at for that day. Overall, so far, I like it. It's comfortable. It's incredibly lightweight. The only problem I've had with the ergonomics of this is wearing it on my right hand while using my mouse and moving my arm around. I've caught it on my desk a couple of times, and one time I was reaching into my pocket and I accidentally peeled some of that Velcro off a little bit. That was a little bit annoying, but that's been it thus far. Otherwise, it has been something I've been able to just completely forget that I have on, and I think that's the point of a device like this. As you can see, in literally like 24 hours time, we've lost 7% of the battery. So I think we are definitely on track to have a very long battery life with this thing as well. I think we can pretty easily confirm that. So guys, that's where I'm at on the Fitbit Air. I'm going to continue wearing this thing for a good while. So maybe we'll do a check-in after 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. My Pebble Time 2 is supposed to be here in a couple of days. So I will be, you know, Pebble on one wrist and Fitbit on the other. So maybe that'll be kind of what that video is how that has gone. So we'll have to see how all that pans out here in a couple of few weeks. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questions, you can drop those down there as well, and I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.